It had been a long day. I remember it clearly, even the insignificant details. Joe and I had been working our usual shift at McDonald's. Yeah, I know. And we were just closing up shop when there was a knock on one of the glass doors. I looked up from wiping down tables to see a man standing outside with a hood on, waving his arms and knocking on the glass. I shook my head and informed him that we were closed. It was the truth, but I had little trust for anyone, and less for shady figures with hoods. He turned and left, and I went back to work. Just a few seconds later, a knock came from the other side of our building. I turned, and there was the man again, standing still, his hand on the glass, ready to knock again. Screw this, I thought, and I went over to the glass to tell him more impolitely. We are closed, I said sharply, putting emphasis on the last word. The man stared at me for what felt like a minute. Then he turned around and began to walk away, heading straight away from our building. I sighed, set on edge by the creep, and wanting even more than before to get home soon, pop open a soda, and relax. I finished wiping down the tables and went to the back to get my jacket. It was around 40 so outside, and I preferred warmth over cold. That was when I realized that Joe was gone. Okay, I thought, he just ditched and went home early. No biggie. Still, after the appearance of the hood creep, I was a bit more on edge than usual. I grabbed my jacket and turned to head back to the front and leave, when the sound of a door shutting stopped me in my tracks. Joe came around the corner, his same goofy smile on his face like always. He stopped, looking at me curiously. Are you all right? He asked. I obviously wasn't. So he'd been in the bathroom. My mistake. But I figured I would have seen him go to the restroom. I decided that I must have missed him going while I was busy yelling at our hooded figure. I said my goodbye and brushed past him to leave. Something cut my escape short. I turned to see Joe holding onto the back of my jacket, his eyes staring with a cold, fierce glare that peered right into my soul. Joe? I asked. What's up with you? Let him in, he whispered, and then let me go, watching me with those demon's eyes. I was scared. Let's face it, we all would be. I went to the door to leave, but as I slid open the lock, Joe's hand grabbed my jacket again and pulled me back. Gasping in surprise, although I suppose I should have expected that, I flailed for the door, trying to grab it before he yanked me back. He seemed much stronger than I had remembered. Suddenly, the man was in front of me, the hooded one. Now that he was close, I could see his eyes from under the cloth. Red, blood red, and staring deep into me like Joe's had been. I tried to fight Joe off of me to get away, but I had made the mistake of zipping up my jacket. There would be no slipping out of it. Joe grabbed my hands and pulled them behind me, holding them there with more force than I would have expected him to be capable of. The man came closer and I could smell his breath. It was like smelling hell itself, a putrid, almost burnt smell. He slipped his hand into his pocket and produced a small scroll. Grinning at me, he unrolled it, revealing some kind of freakish certificate. No way, I thought. I'm not signing some devil's contract.